I'll give you the whole spiel.
Okay. We're going to learn how to make wine with AGGrulich.
Okay, we're starting off with grapes. Everything we need is in the grapes, with the possible exception of the yeast. And there is natural yeast on the grapes.
Where did you get that?
And we got the grapes at a vineyard in eastern Washington near Prosser, and it's called Red Mountain.
Mm.
Okay, well, the grapes were just picked. They were picked the day before yesterday. We brought it over yesterday. Everything's there to make wine in the grape. All you have to do is crush it, and it makes wine. However, there is good yeast and bad yeast. So we sterilize it slightly to kill off natural yeast so that we can import yeast. And that's what we're going to do tonight.
Great.
Okay?
Okay. Show us how you do this.
Okay. In these tubs we have the grape juice, and we took it to a friend of ours and we used a crusher to actually split each grape into releasing its juice. Also, we took things out of the mix, such as stems and branches from the vines themselves. Okay, so now we're here, and this is settled down, and so we're going to add yeast, and we use a commercial yeast, and this is the one that's preferred for red wines, especially full-bodied red wines. Okay, each yeast package is enough to ferment 5 gallons.
Okay.
So each one of these is 10 gallons.
10 gallons.
And so I'm going to add this yeast. I'm going to add this yeast. Oh,
This all comes out in the editing, so don't worry.
Okay. I'm going to add this yeast.
You need scissors or something?
I don't know why the package doesn't split. It usually opens, it has a tinder.
Sometimes you have to find it.
Okay.
So I'm going to do some backup of the...
I'm going to get a knife.
So each one of these is 10 gallons in 3 barrels. Or 3 buckets, I suppose. Buckets. And now what's this one for? There's an empty one.
That's just an empty one. We use that one to help transfer it because it's kind of heavy to move these around. So we just use it to put... I don't know why this package is so difficult, but it is. Anyway, we're now adding the yeast. There's a piece of the vine. And because there's 10 gallons, we use 2 packages for each one. Well, I'll tell you, this guy sold me something that I have to split open each time. And I'll be stirring this in to get it activated. And now everything is in there to make wine.
So nothing else is added. Natural yeast.
Okay. So now we're going to stir up that yeast to where it becomes mixed with the grapes, the grape juice, the seeds, the skins, everything.
That's an interesting paddle.
Well, that's one I made for this purpose only. You can see it's been well used.
How many years?
Oh, I'd say I've used it for 10. Okay, now we move to the next one. And we add the next yeast to it. I guess I'm going to have to cut each one of these individually. We used sterilant to kill off the old yeast, and then we add yeast. Now the sterilant, some of the problems that we've had in the past is people have a tendency to over-sterilize. And I try to be as minimal as possible because you can literally kill the yeast before it has a chance to do its job.
And what do you use to sterilize it?
It's called potassium metabisulfide, and sodium metabisulfide is a substitute, but I like the original potassium just because I think sodium by its own name is a salt and can add a salt taste to it, and I can't taste potassium, so I don't know if potassium
Tastes like salt?
tastes like salt or what it tastes like. So. Okay, we're down to the last 2 packets. And once I get this mixed in, we're done. Now what happens next is that the yeast grows and changes the grape juice, sugars, to alcohol. Okay, I measured this just before, and it gave me the potential of alcohol that's going to be in the wine.
All right.
And right now it's at 14.5. And if you go to a grocery store and buy wine today, you'll find that it ranges from 11 to 13%. So we have a stouter wine than what's commercially available. I don't know how they get it down to 11 other than maybe adding water. But I'm a purist and I don't add anything except grapes and yeast. Okay.
So do you think that some vintners would add water at this point?
I would suspect that, yeah, water is the natural item to add to it. Because I think some people want a wine that has little or no, or has a lower level of alcohol. Beer, has 5 to 6% alcohol. And wine, I'm sure it can range from 9 to probably 15, 16. But we just try not to add
anything. Now what's this for?
Okay, that's a hydrometer, and that's what I use to measure. What I do is I fill this with juice, and this weighted measure tells me what the potential of alcohol is. And so I recorded what we have now, which was 14.8. And as I go through the next several days, I'll check it to see how that decreases to, or increases to 4% and 5% residual sugars. That means that the alcohol content of the wine is then at 11. And so,
and that's what these numbers tell you?
Yeah. And after I get to that point, I take everything from these tubs, put them in a press, and press out only the juice.
Mm-hmm.
And when I press out only the juice, that is, in essence, the completion of it being converted to wine, but it's a young wine. And so I age it for at least a year before I bottle it.
Can I put this down or no?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
It doesn't
gonna wash
matter?
it.
Okay. Get a shot of this.
And it has 3 readings on it.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you the potential of alcohol. It tells you other aspects of it, but generally I use it only to determine how quickly this goes from 15% or 14.8% potential alcohol to 4%, which means that it's 11% alcohol. But over time, I think it actually does get closer to the 14.8. So there we are, done.
Okay. Stand still and turn your back to me for a second. Just a second. So difficult.
I have a bug on my back.
No. Trying to get a shot of this. Okay.
Okay, now clean up and we're done.
Sounds good. Thanks for sharing, Dad.
Okay, well.